I used to think you had to have a whole bunch of money to attract a woman. But once I started getting noticed from women and my money still wasn't together, I had girls in the back of my '03 Honda Civic. I used to get nervous driving women around because I thought that shit was gonna break down. I stop at the red light, that thing's jittering. And sometimes I was a little bit embarrassed, but I just played it off and I played it cool. And I still had success in dating. So today we are talking about what I learned from being broke and dating, man, because I think a lot of guys get this wrong. They think you gotta have a whole bunch of money. They think, oh, I can't date right now. I need to get everything together. I need to get it to the finish line and then I can start dating seriously. Like, no, my brother, you don't have to wait. I don't like telling people what to do, like, oh, this is the way to do or this, but I'm saying your options are open. You know, I see a lot of people like, put your head down. You don't have time for dating. You don't have time for a social life. You got to put your head down and make as much money as possible. And I'm like, man, they fitting into that trap that work for the man your whole life. And that's all life is about. Life is so much more than just trying to make a dollar. Is making money important? Absolutely. But it's not everything, man. So we're going to talk about it today because I think there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to attracting women and money. All right. So like I said, I had an '03 Honda Civic that used to jitter when I was at the red light and women were still messing with me. So one of the things that being broke and dating really taught me is that money isn't as important as you guys think it is. You know, I think it's more important for long term, but when it comes to short term, women don't care as much as you think they do. You know, if you still have a nice physique, if the conversation is flowing, a lot of these women will overlook your shortcomings. Now, I get it. If you're like on the older end, you know, these women start to have more expectations the older they get, you know, and being realistic, you should have more of your ducks in a row the older you are, you know, but if you're 19, 20, 21, like women don't have this crazy expectation. Now you'll see some women online be talking all crazy and some of these women do have crazy expectations, but that's a certain type of woman. Even a girl, I talked about, I pushed up at the gym one time and she was kind of like, oh, I don't give out my Instagram or my Snapchat. It's like, okay, Shawty curved me, but then she kept trying to talk to me. And then after that, she's like, oh, where do you work? And it's like, you already curved me. Now you asking me where I work, you know? And that's how some chicks are. Like, if you got a good job, if it's paying well, she might function with you. I don't like those type of women anyways. I see a lot of guys complain about gold diggers. I never mess with a gold digger because I'm super cheap, dog. If I set up a date at a certain place and she like, you know what, actually I was thinking dinner. Half the times I don't even respond. Yeah, I invited you to this place. If you don't want to go there to meet me, I'm good on you. Because a lot of guys will complain, oh, these women gold diggers, all they want is money. But you set yourself up for that. You know, when you set a date and she changed the place and she said, oh, I don't want boba, I don't want ice cream, I don't want to go to the park. Whatever you may have picked, she said, I don't want to do that. I'm actually I'm tasting, I want to taste some steak tonight. I'm like, well, I want to taste some ice cream, and that's all I want to taste tonight, you know? So I'm not switching up, dog. So even though I might miss out on certain chicks because I don't play into the game, like I don't want to play that game. You know, so don't think you got to have all your ducks in a row to pull the chick. And I would argue that the guys that start dating earlier, they're going to have more success. You know, the guy that puts his head down and he grinds his whole life away and then he gets in the dating market in later age, that's the guy that struggles. And that's a lot of time the guy that's be on the trick shit. You know, I can't tell you how many girls I done talked to and they got these sugar daddies trying to throw money at them. And you know, a lot of guys will complain how the woman acts, but I'm saying the reason why these women act the way they do is because there's a lot of guys out here ready to bend over backwards for the bride. She can act any type of way, he's still sending her cash out. You know, like these dudes be tripping, dog. These boys be linking up, sucking toes, licking booty hole. Man, they don't care if it's brown, if it's pink, if it's stink, boy, they doing everything for some random chick, dog. They ready to cash app her off the rip. You never even met the chick, you trying to pay for her nails. Like, there's a lot of guys on that trick type and shit, dog. And a lot of those guys leave with their money because they never had any experience in dating. So now all they did was build themselves up, they got money now, and they just throw it at the woman and hope the woman likes them. But it's like when you actually go on a whole bunch of dates, you learn through trial and error, man. And then you start to grow, you start to develop yourself. That guy's gonna be a lot better at dating than the guy that has never went on dates. And then he just gets a whole bunch of money, now he's trying to get into the dating market. These chicks will play you like a fiddle. If you have no experience dating, these chicks will try to play you, dog. You know, and yes, there's certain signs where a woman might be solid or she not. But a lot of these guys that have no experience, dog, they just taking whatever they can get. You know, so that's why I would push the message like, you don't have to wait your whole life to start dating, dog. I don't think it should be a priority, but it's like, dog, you have some time on the weekend. When you playing a video game all day, you got some time to go on a date. Yeah, if you get flaked on a couple times, it gets like that. Don't take that shit too personal and keep that shit pushing. Just look at this shit like it's practice. You know? You wasn't getting mad when you got on the basketball court. The first couple shots you take, you might goddamn airball it. You ain't been shooting enough. You got to get in that gym and keep shooting. You got to put yourself in position. But a lot of people, they go out there, they shoot. You shot one half court shot. You airballed it and you like, yeah, I'm done. This game's not for me. Let me get back on the internet and get in my black pill community. Let me go watch some other dude pipe some chick down online that I wish I was piping down. That's how a lot of these guys think, dog. And they have this mindset, all these women are just gold diggers. And I'm like, bro, that's far from the truth. Do some of these women like money? Absolutely. But if women were such gold diggers, dog, there wouldn't be so many of these chicks, baby daddy in the pen, locked up. He ain't making no money. You know what I'm saying? He not making any money. Like, I wouldn't have been able to get women in the back of that Honda 03 Civic, dog. Because I'm telling you that shit was beat up. When I bought it, the roof was all rusted. I tried to spray paint it black. Man, I got pulled over like 4 or 5 times in one summer because the windows were so tinted. And people were like, man, Cole, you look like you selling drugs out that little beater, you know? Because it was raggedy, dog. I was getting pulled over on a consistent basis. Because it's just like, you look at the car, you're like, bro, there's something wrong with that man. You know, so man, don't think you got to have all your ducks in a row. Don't think you got to have all your money together. When you have that physique that turns into a freak, dog, she's willing to give you an opportunity. You know, really, you giving her the opportunity, but she is willing to have that vision in you, dog. When you actually got your body together, she's like, oh, he's going to be something. He was disciplined in the gym. Maybe the money's coming next. But when you fat, when you got titties, when you got love handles, when you got a big back, dog, these chicks probably won't believe half the shit you say. You know, you trying to talk yourself up. She can see right through that bullshit. But when you in shape, dog, your words mean so much more. That's why I say, like, when you get the body game together, people will respect you before you talk. You know, when you see some fat, goofy looking dude, before he even says anything, you already thinking he low-key a goofball. People will respect you off your physique and off your body language. So once you have better body language, even if you're not at that point where you got all your money together, women are still gonna choose you. You know, but I think there's too many guys out here that think, oh, once I get my money, that's gonna save me. No, it's not. It's gonna make a lot of things easier, but it's not gonna fix your whole dating life because you got a lot of money. Because I promise you, this is the next man that got a lot of money too. And he probably a bigger trick than you. I mean, it's truly disgusting how big of tricks these guys are, man. It's truly disgusting, man. Like, these boys just be bending over backwards, dog. Willing to do anything for a woman. I've seen it time and time again. Like, I don't think I've talked to a single woman, like, she didn't have an opportunity to be a sugar baby. I'm not saying every girl I talked to has had a sugar daddy. Now, I done talked to a couple girls that had, like, sugar daddies. But I'm saying, the vast majority of girls I've talked to, they said something like, yeah, this dude was trying to pay me. Like, I'm not doing that. Because I already know he's going to expect something in return. Now, some of these chicks I know, they was taking money. You know, they taking money, going on dates and all types of shit, dog. So, man, that's a real thing, boy. These tricks be the biggest. And it's like, are you really winning when she only around you because she trying to get some dollars off of you, dog? You know, it's like these boys, they put themselves in a position to deal with a gold digger and then complain when a woman's only using them. I think, like, some guys low-key like that shit on the low. You know, like, that shit gets them off, like, tricking. I don't know. That shit's always been weird to me. And even, like, thinking about strip clubs, I never even been to a strip club before. I done had homeboys try to get me to go to a strip club, and I'm like, I don't have any interest. Like, why am I going to throw money at a chick to shake her butt, and then I'm not getting anything in return? Like, I don't know. To me, that's tricking. Like, I'm not trying to just look at you and throw money at you. You know, like, I don't care how fat your ass is. And I don't know. I've never been to a strip club, but I feel like most of them chicks probably raggedy in there. You know what I'm saying? You get a little bit too close and you start to smell some goddamn funk, you know? So, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe some of y'all like strip clubs. I never got the hype. I don't understand that shit. I'm going to throw money at you so you can shake your butt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm the one tripping. But it's just like, when you look at certain shit, dog, society would try to make you a trick, dog. Even when I listen to this music. Like, I like a lot of rap music, and I always hear, oh, if you do this, I'm gonna pay your bills. And I'm just like, dog, what the fuck is this? Unlike that song. Take that out my playlist. I don't want no type of trick mentality around me, man. Because I seen a lot of people growing up on that trick mentality. They trying to prove themselves to a woman. Cause they don't feel good about themselves, dog. And then I like watched a whole bunch of P interviews back in the day, man. I was watching one like every single day. And I know some of them guys, you know, kind of phony, whatever. But it's more of the mentality, man. And I say, how can some of these guys get 4 or 5 women to walk down the street and sell their body? And then you got the other end where this guy is tricking on a woman. You know, so I really started looking into it. Now, them women that walk in the blade and stuff like that, they all broken. You know, mentally, they all fucked up. But it still, like, had me thinking, like, dog, how can a woman give her all to a man, but then the next man is tricking on her? You know, and then you get in a certain dynamic where it's like, I've messed with women before, and she might have a boyfriend, but she would still, if I hit her up, I know she would still go for it, you know? Like, she likes her dude, but she don't like him like that. I done been in situations like that, so I really see, like, the money ain't all that, bro. It's really not all that. Now, some of these chicks, yeah, they be fanned out about some money, but it's like a lot of these women, dog, money's cool, but it's not gonna do all that, dog. You know, if you really stand out when you have a good physique, I think a good physique is more important than money. You know what I'm saying? Because even with a man with a lot of money, he might get women to sleep with him, but they don't have the same type of desire, dog. When a woman looks at you and she starts getting wet, like, that's a different type of energy you get from that woman than the guy that's like, he gotta show off his car, he gotta cash app her, he gotta do all this extra shit, he gotta take her on dinner. But it's like, dog, I'm telling y'all, if you just know how to move, you really don't have to spend that much money on dating. And I've said this many times, like, vast majority of my dates were boba, ice cream. Hell, I done had some gym dates. People criticize that shit, but it's like, if I know people at the gym, if I like working out, I gotta get a workout in anyways. If she flakes, I don't give a shit because I gotta get this workout anyways. Oh, the park, boom. You know, I gotta go get my cardio in anyway. So if she don't show up, I'm not tripping. You know, once I started setting dates up like that, like, a lot of guys be like, oh, I don't have money for a woman. I don't have money for dating. It's like, dog, just start moving cheaply. And if she's a solid chick, dog, just be like, look, I'm really in my hustle mode right now. Like, I can't be going out with you all that much. Like, I'm really trying to stack my money. And a solid woman, she gonna be like, I understand, you know? And some of these chicks, they gonna start cooking for you and shit like that. And I've heard guys say, like, oh, women don't cook like that anymore. It's like shit, I done had women cook for me. Keep that energy to yourself, you know? I done had this older guy tell me, like, oh, you better learn how to cook, Cole, because these women don't be out here cooking. And speak for yourself, my boy. I'm gonna find what I want. You speak for yourself. Don't put that type of energy on me. Don't put that shit around me. I'm good. You know, but once you really change that mindset of that you are a valuable man and you bring so much more than what society tells you, but you got to keep working on yourself, man. And you got to have faith in yourself. But a lot of guys don't have faith in themselves. So they think the dollar bill is going to save them for everything. And then they get cheated on when another man got more money than him. You know, it's so much more than just money, dog. But I tell y'all all this. I tell y'all that to say this, man. Does money help in dating? Absolutely. You know, especially when it comes to long term. I understand people pull up the studies where, like, a lot of people get divorced because financial issues. But I can't tell you how many chicks I've seen. I've heard many stories, dog, where her dude was making good money and she going on and cheating on him with a dude in the trailer park that has no money at all. But he's in good shape and he knows how to get her rocks off, you know? So, I mean, that's major, dog. But guys will keep downplaying the body game. I always see it. Guys are like, they either getting this mindset of, oh, it's like all about what you're born with, your face genetics, or they getting this mindset of, oh, you just need to have more money, you know? But I'm like, I done seen dudes, ugly face, got a jack body, nice body, and women go crazy for him. But you know, that cognitive bias, man. If you believe something, you're gonna find what you're looking for. You know, if you think you screw when it comes to dating, if you think you need a whole bunch of money, that's what you're gonna get. So believe what you want to. But man, I can't tell y'all how many times I've had women go on a date with me, you know, because I've told women before, like, you know, I'm kind of in that phase of I'm trying to stack my money. They're like, I understand. You know, then they trying to go take you out to lunch. They trying to pay for you. They inviting you over to the crib and paying, you know, having food ready for you. So it's like, don't get in this mindset like you have to be at the finish line. You have to have everything together, dog. Because I promise you, the more you date, the better you get at it. You know what I'm saying? It's a skill like anything else. Now, I'm not telling you to just stuff your meat in every single hole you see. You know, I would never encourage that. But it's like, at the same time, socializing more is going to make you a more attractive man, dog. I think guys get too caught up in just the money And they fail to realize like women are attracted to so many things. And that body game is definitely one of them, you know? So, dog, get in shape. I would say getting in shape, when it comes to like raw attraction, the man that's in good shape and he has confidence in himself and he feels good about himself, he's gonna beat out the guy that just got a whole bunch of money. Yeah. You know, these chicks, they like a dude with money. They like the nice cars and stuff like that. But she's so much more attractive. I'd say vast majority of women, they're so much more attracted to that guy that got his body together. Now, when you got both, that's when you really win it, man. But anytime I've heard a woman say, oh, this is my celebrity crush. Oh, this is the finest man. It's never like the richest guy. I never hear chicks be fanned out of Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. I don't see that shit. I mean, you see chicks that be messing with Jeff Bezos be choosing on other guys. You know, so it's not about who has the most money. You know, it's more about the way you carry yourself, dog. And you can carry yourself the right way even when you're broke. You know, and I promise you guys, if you figure out how to be successful in dating when you're broke, that shit is gonna be a breeze once you got your money together. That shit's gonna be a breeze once you got your body how you want it. Like imagine that, dog. If you are successful when your body game isn't all the way on point and you don't have your pockets on point either, if you can get you some ladies then, dog, oh shit, man, it's gonna be a complete breeze once you get all your ducks in a row. And that's why I think it's important. It's important to get practice when you're not exactly where you're at. When you're not exactly where you want to be. So man, stop waiting, dog. Like I'm saying, you don't have to dedicate a whole bunch of time to dating, but these guys that act like, oh, I gotta go years without dating. Oh, I gotta go a year. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I'm too locked in. It's like, bro, you bullshitting. You're bullshitting. And I can't tell you how many guys that are super successful and they was married before the wealth came. You know what I'm saying? Like real shit, dog. It's kind of like, I'm gonna tell guys to have a kid at a young age. You know, I think the youngest someone should have a kid is 25 for a man. I'd say 25 is the youngest. Honestly, the earliest I would have a kid is probably like 28, maybe 30. I feel like that's you know, you still fairly young, but you're not too young. You figured out most things, but you're still working on yourself. So I say like 28, 30, probably the youngest I would want to have a kid. But at the same time, a lot of guys have kids and they get motivated by that shit. You know, so some guys have kids and they become more successful because now they have a new motivation. You know, but a lot of people say, oh, if you have kids, you're gonna go broke. But it's like, it depends on the man. Shit, some dudes have a kid and they go into that third gear. They're like, oh, I got a new type of motivation. You know, even my friend, dog, for the longest, dog, he was just slacking off, struggling to pay the bills. He always talking about going to the military. And I'm talking about like within maybe 2 weeks, he found out he had a kid on the way. Man, he went straight to the military. Like for the longest, he was bullshitting, lollygagging. But as soon as he found out he had a kid on the way, he like, let me stop bullshitting. I need to get it right. You know, so that's just something for y'all to think about, man. There's always levels to things, man. But that's all I got for y'all today, man. Realize you don't need to have a whole bunch of money to be successful in dating, dog. I can't tell you how many guys I know that are dead broke. I can't tell you how many girls I've messed with and their ex was like, didn't even have a car. I've heard that so many times. I've heard that. So you are broke if you don't have a car in most places. Now, if you were like in a major city and you walk everywhere, that's one thing. But most places, you're pretty broke if you don't have a car. But they're like, oh, my ex didn't have a car. But y'all, I see guys online like, oh, I need to be a millionaire before I start dating. It's like, bro, what are you talking about? I need to make 6 figures before I start dating. If that's what you want to believe that, my brother. But that's all I got for y'all today. Make sure you like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch y'all boys in the next one.